We never saw a child. We never heard a child. Nothing. But clearly the house looked like there were kids that lived in it. So I was assuming that the kid is in daycare, or maybe the kid's with a family member or a friend, so she can get her apartment cleaned out, moved to. But if you're telling my fiance that there's a child in the bathroom and he hears water running, well, that's a little sketch. And then you never loaded a child up into the car when we went to leave. That's another thing that, thinking back now, it's like, huh.
3 sources now tell us it has been weeks since 5-year-old Taylor Williams was last seen. A big conflict with what mom is telling police.
Investigators say her mother, a naval petty officer, is no longer cooperating with police.
So I want you to hear the conditions that Semaj's body was found. And I read this in one article, just so you know the depravity of the people that are hiding this information about this little girl, what happened to her.
Information that has surfaced and unconfirmed reports about the condition of Semaj's body when she was found. Can you confirm any of the allegations that there were roaches in her body, that there were abrasions to her face?
I can't confirm it. I was there during the autopsy, and there was an insect bites on her face, yes. And insects taken out of her ears and her nose.
Thank you.
Hey, it's iCkEdMeL, and didn't I just make a video the other day where I said, the parents, right? Here we are again. Hundreds of people searching, ponds, trash, people taking off from work, the community reaching out.
Many of them were going through alleys, backyards, and going in and out of abandoned houses looking for Taylor or looking for clues that could help find her. I spoke with some of those volunteers. One man even took off work to come to this neighborhood to help search for that child. He said that's how emotional this story made him.
Like I said on Facebook, it's time that these people be held accountable. Whatever happened to this child, this woman, this mother needs to get the same charge. Before we get into the details, let's get into the description of Taylor Rose Williams, 5 years old. It was reported that she was missing 11/6, which now could be weeks that she's been gone. She is a black female, brown eyes, black hair, 3 feet tall, 50 pounds in weight, Jacksonville, Florida, County Duval, and it was reported that she was last seen wearing purple and pink pajamas.
Last seen wearing pink and purple pajamas, Taylor's disappearance has launched a massive search.
Let's talk about the inconsistencies, okay? On Wednesday, when I got the notification for the Amber Alert on my phone, I was like, oh man, let me make this post on Facebook to try to spread out the information. I posted it here on YouTube also to try to spread it out as fast as I can. Maybe we can do something. Well, one of the articles I read stated that the mother noticed that the daughter was missing at midnight and then called in the morning.
The news coming a day after she reported her own daughter missing, telling police Taylor disappeared from her bedroom Wednesday night.
I have to give a shout out to Brandy on Facebook that noticed when I first posted this that it made no sense. The article that I was quoting said that Brianna noticed her daughter missing at midnight, but called in the morning.
Today, investigators collected evidence at her mother's home as neighbors canvassed the area, handing out flyers. But when pressed about inconsistencies with her story, investigators say Williams stopped talking.
Morning, midnight, those terminologies can be confusing.
When Taylor's mother says that she last saw her Wednesday morning at midnight.
So let's just stick to the actual numbers and time. There was one report that said that at midnight, 12 a.m., when she saw her daughter is when she saw her missing. So my logical assumption is that most of the articles are saying that she last saw her at midnight, so she probably put her to bed. And as this one article states, she put her to bed around midnight, and in the morning when she woke up is when she noticed her missing around 7 a.m. So I'm not sure if this is where the inconsistencies came from, or did something else happen while she was being questioned by police.
Sheriff, would you call the mother a person of interest in this case?
So at this point, again, nothing's off the table.
Now, this mother, Brianna, of Taylor Rose Williams, is in the Navy, and it's been confirmed. Also, the woman you saw in the beginning talking, the woman that helped her move, and the fiance, she described the mother as, well, the place that they were in before, house was messy, and the child's mother was behaving strangely. She also stated that it honestly looked like she had been recently evicted or something because it was not well lived in if there was a child there. There was also old food all over the floor, underneath the couches. There was trash everywhere. It reminds me of Semaj Crosby.
Community coming together to remember 16-month-old Semaj Crosby. Child's body found inside the family's home.
To where a baby is found in a couch. The tiny home, now condemned, investigators say, was filled with garbage and cockroaches. The Department of Children and Family Services, which investigated the family at least twice before, visited the home just hours before Semaj died.
As we segue into Semaj Crosby, I just have to say thank you to Tarshu for some of the links you provided. Also, salute to Leonard for calling out of his job so he can go search for this girl, Taylor. The way our society works, he'll probably be fired, but salute to you.
I have 6 grandkids, and I know how it feels. I feel it. So I just got tired of seeing it on the screen, and I decided to do something about it.
Semaj Crosby, multiple persons of interest, which I'm going to make a post tomorrow. There's a lot that I have. There's a lot of stuff that I have, but Sherry Gordon, the mother, biological mother. You got Darlene Crosby, which has a past with CPS or DCFS. You also have Lucretia, which has a past too, Crosby. You have Tamika Sims, which I'm still investigating a little bit because she was outspoken, so I have to look into her. And a minor, which I happen to know the name, but it hasn't been named here, which fits into a lot of people's theories. Now, if you take a little closer look at this article, it says that he said there's no doubt in my mind that they're one of the 5 individuals in Semaj's house is responsible for what happened to her. I believe that there are other individuals that know exactly what happened. What other individuals, though? That's a good question. Make sure you check me out on Facebook. But there's a guy named Wesley. I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm just saying there's a bunch of people in and out of that house. Wesley was the paramour, meaning girlfriend or recipient, whatever you want to call it, of Lucretia. And he was named an alleged perpetrator in two child investigations involving one of his children with Lucretia. Seems like a lot of people have a weird, interesting past in that household. Darlene Crosby, which is the mother, grandmother, whatever you want to call her. From 2016 to 2017, Darlene was named as an alleged perpetrator in a child protection investigation for physical involving her grandchildren. Well, maybe it's just allegations. Maybe it's just maybe there's just smoke where there's fire. Other family history: Darlene Crosby with DCFS in a parent role due to allegations of inadequate supervision, and was head of household in a service case open for neglect from March 1993 to June 1993. And a preventative service case from April 2010 to April 2011. Also, you have a history. But wait, what's this? Wesley Sykes, the one that's with Lucretia, has a documented history.
How did Semaj end up under the couch?
I don't know.
You don't know, yet you were there.
There was 4 women at that house the day that Semaj went missing. 4 grown women. One, if not more, of those 4 grown women know exactly what happened to Semaj and know how she got under that couch. I can tell you with 100% certainty, she did not get under that couch by herself.
Amen.
Amen.
Can you name those 4 women?
Absolutely. The 4 women that were at that house the 4 grown women that were at that house the day Semaj went missing was Cherie Gordon, Lucretia Crosby, Darlene Crosby, Tamika Robinson. They were all four there. Their kids, all their kids were playing and dancing in the yard. Okay? They were all four there.
Or something. Okay, y'all kicking it, chilling for a minute. Y'all had to be, because y'all motherfuckers dancing all that outside.
I told you we was in the yard. All the kids was out there. They kids was out there dancing. When I came up, they was listening to some old dance music. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It was Tayana, Jamarion, Creisha, Cherie. Nunu was in the car. Her and Miss Darlene. Cherie was linked up on the back of the car. Tayana, Creisha was dancing like in front of the kids, like got them dancing. And Jamarion. About the baby.
Now you said nobody, right? Nobody asked about her. Nobody said, Cherie never said she was missing and she wasn't nowhere around, right?
Nothing,
right?
That's why I said.
So,
I swear to God, she wasn't even interacting with nobody outside that was dancing. She was linked up against the back of Miss Darlene car on the phone, on a little small black phone, texting.
So
she wasn't even dancing with
y'all.
the kids.
By 5:30, 6 o'clock. No, about 5:30. This is when y'all about to get ready to pull off and everything. Cause she made that. Y'all had enough time. Y'all had enough time to still pull off and go look for her. By the time she called that 911 call at 6 o'clock. So she must have ran out.
The thing about it is we didn't even know she called them yet. Because when we pulled back up, I was like, did you call the police yet, Cherie?
Right.
Because first they
now,
was
mind
like,
you,
nobody was
that's
finna
like,
call.
That's a little after 6
They
o'clock.
was finna go search. So I was like, well, I think y'all need to call first.
So there was a bunch of going back and forth, different news media organizations saying they are cooperating, then other people saying they're not. And what happened is basically they lawyered up. So basically, if you want any kind of information, talk to my lawyer.
According to the media, that everybody's cooperating with the police. I can tell you that absolutely for sure that is not the case. Everybody, all four women have attorneys. Any questions?
And all four aren't cooperating.
All four are not cooperating.
All four not lawyers.
Have attorneys. Yes.
Wow.
So it sounds nice when you say you're cooperating, but once you lawyer up, we already know that's a wrap. You know, you're protecting yourself. You're knowing what you got to do. Talk to my lawyer. Let's talk about the polygraphs.
Can you reveal the polygraph?
There was a couple polygraphs given. Okay. And there was a couple polygraphs that were failed.
Can you repeat that?
There was a couple polygraphs given, and there was a couple polygraphs that were failed. However, a polygraph is not admissible in court.
Right.
All that is can be an investigative tool, and there are some proven facts of a false polygraph.
So he said there were a couple polygraphs given and a couple failed. He didn't get specific in this video, and it's not admissible in court. I think if they had something more sustainable in the polygraph, they might have publicly announced what exactly was it that they got wrong. But I will play some audio for you from somebody that was polygraphed and they were told they failed one test.
And they said, well, Tamika, she didn't fail like that. She failed a question on there. And we just can't tell you anymore.
So I want you to hear the conditions that Semaj's body was found. And I read this in one article, just so you know the depravity of the people that are hiding this information about this little girl, what happened to her.
Information that has surfaced and unconfirmed reports about the condition of Semaj's body when she was found. Can you confirm any of the allegations that there were roaches in her body, that there were abrasions to her face?
I can't confirm it. I was there during the autopsy, and there was insect bites on her face, yes. And insects taken out of her ears and her nose.
Thank you.
So there was this one part of the Q&A. They were asking about the conditions of the home, which I heard was really bad. And you always have these nutty conspiracy people that are just like, yeah, the cops planted the roaches. I was just like shaking my head, dude.
I was in that house the night we searched it and we found baby Semaj.
But do you know the condition? Because
I know
it is told that the house became deplorable because the police threw trash or threw everything out. It was already deplorable right before you took the clothes out the bag.
When they set the pizza on the table, they said roaches start flying.
No, police did that.
No.
No, I'm talking about
They said police did all that. Police dirty.
Right. Whenever we search a house, we do not bring roaches into a house.
So there's a few more things. And by the way, if you check the DCFS documents, there was multiple reports of the place being dirty even before this incident happened. So the cops didn't come in there and plant trash and plant roaches. There was a really good question somebody asked is why were the kids still in her custody? And this guy said that the CPS services, they don't remove children because of a dirty home.
And Child Protective Services have been called. Why were the kids still in her custody? Why?
I've got the answer for that. Because DCFS, and I'm not, they do what they can do. They don't take kids out of dirty homes. And I'm honest, I mean, we can go into 4 or 5 more homes, and they say that.
To me, that's totally not excusable because it was more than that than just a dirty home. If you look at the 22-page document from DCFS, it was a complete failure. Now, I wanted to share with you this theory that was going around to the situation that apparently people in that area know about, where they say the mother, Cherie, was lured out and then that's when her daughter disappeared or something like that. Check out this clip.
It was told that Cretia and them called Cherie in the house. They said that one of the kids had took money out of her purse. So that's what lured her into the house. And Cherie said when she came back outside, her baby was gone.
And he's
there's time there that's hard to nail down.
Right.
But there was, and Cherie told me that night, that somebody told her that there was one of the kids got into her purse in the house. So she goes in the house and she does see her stuff strewn around, and she was putting her stuff back in her purse.
And then when she came back out, her baby was gone. That's
sometime in there, yes, yes. But the time is not. I mean, it wasn't like she walks back out now with my baby. There is a huge time gap that we can't get.
So I wanted to end off on this last bit. I am completely exhausted. You gotta excuse me. So with the given history of all these people, especially Darlene, but there's a lot that you don't know, especially the minor that's not named, which is another very questionable person. But Darlene, the grandmother, when she was a child, she was abducted. It states here that Miss Cynthia Crosby, 23, her and her daughter Darlene were standing on the sidewalk when the man grabbed the child, jumped into the car with 2 other men, and drove away, police reported. Minutes later, the car returned. The child was handed back to another woman, and the child was returned to her mother. That's a pretty strange story. If you're gonna steal a child, why return them? And this whole entire family and all these people seem to have a history of children having misfortunes. And I'll end off on that. Have a good night. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts.
I see potential subscribers.